So today I'm going to be making rum and lime cheesecakes. These are a really fun thing to make, but equally as being fun, if you've had a really frustrating day, just whack it out in the biscuits is how you get started. So our cheesecakes have a biscuit base, and we just want to crush those up. Just take it out on the biscuits, really. So this will now make your biscuit base. The biscuits I've decided to use today are a ginger nut biscuit. The reason being is that ginger complements rum and lime really nicely, but you could use digestives, hobnobs, any type of biscuit that you like actually. So I'm just going to set these to one side for now. I love making these whenever we have our supper clubs. We tend to do 3-course meals, and this is just a really nice sweet to have for dessert. And we do different cocktail style cheesecakes, but today will be the rum and lime. So the cheeses I've got are a standard soft cream cheese like Philadelphia, and also important to have an Italian cheese like mascarpone. So I'm just going to empty these into a bowl. Okay, I'm just going to empty the cream cheese on top of the mascarpone. And it really is a bit stiff, so you just battle getting that out. And then you're just going to press and fold them into one another, just so that they start to mix up nicely. And as always with many of my recipes, it is just a nice big ball of mess for now. So just mix those in, fold them into one another. And then as you're getting a nice mix of them together, it's time to add some sugar. So the sugar I use is icing sugar. The reason being it just blends in really nicely and finely. If you were to use something more granular like caster sugar, you'd really, as you'd bite into it, you'd get that sort of crunch, and you don't want that. You just want to add the sweetness without adding any difference to the texture. In terms of the amount of sugar to use, it's very subjective. It's about your level of taste. I always taste as I go, and I recommend doing so yourself. So I'm just gonna pour it through a sieve. Just a little dash. And sometimes the fat bits just don't quite go through the sieve, so just press those through with your fingers. And then I'm just gonna start to fold that into the cream cheese. Just really softly. If you do it too quickly, all of the sugar just goes poof in your face. And it looks a bit like a Harry Potter spell gone wrong. So just do that really slowly. And I can just do a little finger taster test. And that still tastes a bit cheesy, so I'm going to add some more sugar to add the sweetness to the cheese. I'm just going to shake that in and just fold it. Oh, there we go. Fold it really slowly into the cream cheese. I wouldn't actually recommend doing this in a blender. I've done it before and it actually changes the consistency, so it goes really runny, and you don't want that. So I would always suggest using a bit of elbow grease and doing this with your hand instead. So I'm just going to do a little taste test again. That's the perfect sweetness for me. Right, I think some posh households might have wine cellars and wine racks, but in our house we've got a rum cupboard. So I have checked with my old man to see which rums I can have. And for today's mix, we're gonna go for a mix of duppy share rum, which is a nice golden rum. It's a blend from Jamaica and Barbados. And also to add a bit of a naughty kick, we've got some wray and nephew. I used to take this rum with me to Notting Hill Carnival when I was younger. I used to sneak it out with me and add it to some rum punch, and that would be my little journey juice on the road. I've got fond memories of that rum. So, in terms of the amount of rum to use, a bit like the sugar, this is just going to be based on your taste and preference. You either want it to have a little subtle element, or you want it to have a real rum kick. And obviously I'm from the Caribbean, I like a good rum kick. So I'm just going to put a good glug or two of this. And again, just really slowly fold it in. And you can just really smell that rum coming through. And then with the wray and nephew, this is an overproof rum, so it's pretty strong. So I'd exercise a bit of caution with this one. So I'm just gonna pour half of a lid into it. This is the kind of rum that puts hairs on your chest. And just, again, fold it in slowly into the cheesecake mix. Oh, it smells so good. So again, just important to do a little taste test. Yeah, that rum is coming through really nicely. And now to just add a little bit of a cut through the sweetness, it's really important to add some lime. You all know I love lime a lot. I use it as often as possible. So I'm just going to cut a lime in half, and I'm going to squeeze half a lime into it. And again, just fold this into the mix. And I'm just going to pop this in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I've just got our cheesecake mix out of the fridge. Going to start by getting the base into the bottom of our little ramekins. You can just use any ramekins you've got at home. And I'm just gonna scoop a few teaspoons of this biscuit base, so about, I'd say 3 heaped spoons into each one. And then what you want to do is just with the back side of the spoon, just press it down and rotate the ramekin. Okay, and now this bit is where you get, I'd say use a teaspoon again for this, any bigger and it gets a bit messy. So you're just gonna get a really heaped teaspoon of the cheesecake mix and you're just going to let it dollop in the middle. And you're just gonna leave that there and do that on all of them. So just get a nice dolloped teaspoon and just drop it on the middle. And same again here. And now once you've got your heaped teaspoon there, again, it's really important that you press with the back side of the spoon firmly, but slowly, and you just, as you're pressing it, you just turn it around. If you were to try and spread it, the biscuit mix would just go everywhere. So if you just make sure you keep it centered and slowly move it around, it will start to spread across. And you can just see they're nice and uniform. There, smooth on top. Hiya!
Hey, it's pudding time.
It is pudding time.
Just in time?
Nearly just in time, Mum. I'm just topping them. This is purely for decoration. Okay, so now I'm just gonna get stuck in. And what I love is that you've got the different texture. So you've got the crunchiness of the biscuit and the really soft smoothness of the cheesecake mix on top. The rum really comes through there. It's really light and refreshing, but the rum is a real proper kick. That's my favourite thing about this dessert. So do let me know how you get on with this recipe, and don't forget to click like, share and subscribe. See you guys. Thanks for watching.